welcome to another episode of Comics Review. I'm your host, Kevin Starkey. The first comic I'm going to talk about today is The Activity. This is issue number 3 from Image Comics. And this is a comic by, the story's by Nathan Edmondson, and the art is by Mitch Gerads, I guess is how you pronounce that. I don't know if I've talked about this one before or not. Maybe not. The Activity, it's sort of like a secret spy group in the CIA or something like that, and they're going to different countries and doing missions and stuff. And I liked it at first, but by the end of this issue I realized that this comic is not for me, so I'm not going to really get into it. It's just the artwork's pretty decent. Here's some different shots. Neat coloring. It's a good story, I guess, if that's your thing, but I'm just not really getting into it. There's a lot of jargon in here, military jargon, which there is a glossary at the end that explains some of it, which is helpful, but after I read it I thought, well, now I need to go back and reread it. I didn't really realize that glossary was there. So I was a little bit confused on some of the stuff that was going on, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I'm probably not gonna get the next issue of this. So I guess I'd rate it, for me, maybe like a 2 out of 5. It just wasn't my thing. I'm not rating it poorly because I think it's crap. I'm rating it poorly because it just wasn't for me. But if it sounds like it's for you, then maybe check it out. The next comic I'm going to talk about, this is Peter, I have to look at it instead of Peter Panzerfaust. This is issue number 1. It's from Image Comics. And the guy in the comic book store, I didn't even see this comic. He pulled it for me, thinking that I would probably like it, and he explained it to me that there was another comic that did a similar thing to what this one's doing, and it's what they're doing here is they take the story of Peter Pan and put it into a real life situation. This is, I think it's World War II, France and Germany, and Peter Pan's sort of I think he's a British guy, and there are these boys who are in like an orphanage in France, and the Germans are attacking, and this is Peter. He comes in and sort of saves the day for these boys, and you know, it's sort of a real world situation, although he does exhibit some magical powers because they're on a building and they need to sort of get, you know, here's the building, it's been blown up, and they're anticipating another shot coming at them, and it's like 20 feet across, and he ends up jumping from building to building, and he encourages the boys to follow along with what he did, and they all make it, and it's kind of a neat concept. The artwork isn't anything, you know, knock your socks off, but it fits. It's pretty good, and yeah, I actually kind of like it. I'm glad I picked it up. You know, there's a lot of Germans and fighting, and it's pretty good actually. You know, I'm definitely gonna pick up the next issue and see where they go with this story. I don't know if I'll stick with it forever, but it caught my attention. I guess I'd rate it a 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5. Definitely check it out. The next comic, this one is really neat. It's Road Rage from IDW, and it's Stephen King and Joe Hill, who Joe Hill is his son, if you're not aware of that. They're doing the writing on this. Well, it's written by them and then adapted by Chris Ryle. I'm guessing there's a book, maybe. It seems like. I don't know anything about it, but that's my impression. And they talk about it here in the back. I guess they're gonna. 2 novellas, Duel and Throttle. Looks like some Harper Audio presents Road Rage. So I don't know anything about that, but I thought, well, Stephen King I liked a lot growing up. I read a lot of his books, and Joe Hill I like a lot for the Lock and Key story and The Cape. And the artwork in here is really neat. It's sort of a biker gang story, and I don't know. There's a lot of twists and turns in it. I might even read it again. There's so much. It's a very dense story. There's a lot of story involved here, a lot of character stuff. Um, this truck comes after them, and I don't want to give any of it away, but oh yeah, look, if I open up the whole book, the whole cover is an actual picture. Um, Neat story, neat concept. Definitely picking up issue number 2 next month. Really cool artwork. Let me show you some more of that inside here. Really like the art style a lot. Definitely recommend this. I'm gonna rate it 5 out of 5. It's that good. It's really good. Run out and grab it if that sounds like something you might be interested in. And then finally here, this is Moriarty, issue 9. The Lazarus Tree is the subtitle of this, and this is the last issue of this series. Although they mention in here that there's going to be a volume 2 coming out in March, so like a month away. I've sung the praises of this comic on multiple occasions, I think. Moriarty, if you're not aware, is a character from the Sherlock Holmes stories. He was sort of the nemesis of Sherlock Holmes. And in here, this is after Sherlock Holmes has died. And Moriarty's, he's a fun character, but when I got to the end of this, I'm like, I don't even know what this story was about. And I don't feel motivated to go back and read it over again from the beginning. So I doubt that I'm going to pick up the second volume when it comes out next month. The artwork's really cool. I like the style a lot. I'm really into the artwork in here. It's almost good enough to collect it just for the artwork. It's really some cool stuff. Let me try to find some more shots to show you. But the story is just kind of confusing for me. The writing is okay, but I'm a little bit lost at this point. I need to go back and reread it, and I don't think I'm going to do it. I just don't have it in me. But if you've read this series and you have a different take on it, I'd love to hear what you think of it. You might be able to convince me to pick it back up again and check it out again. And then let me quickly go over I only have 2 other things that I picked up this week. Let me just talk about them briefly. Here's Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. I think I might not have talked about them before. This is issue number 1. There was a 0 that was out. It might have even been last week, so I probably didn't talk about it. Where it explained, it was sort of like, it wasn't like a real comic. It was, I mean, it's a real comic, but it was informational. It was like, here's a picture, and here's a long couple of paragraphs explaining, the picture, what's in the picture, basically. Because this is like all new material. This is really, it takes place way back in the Jedi's past. It's like the start of how the whole Jedi thing came about. And I thought I'd check it out. The Jedi Oath is the subtitle there. Looks like really good artwork in here. Dark Horse Comics, of course. They do all the Star Wars stuff. So, I'm anxious to see what this story's like. It might be a little difficult since it's like all new characters, people I don't know anything about. Although that I might have to break out that issue number 0 where they talked about all the different people and places and all that stuff. That might be a required, reading companion or whatever for this first issue. So I'm gonna check it out and see what it's like. And then the other thing I picked up this week is Whispers in the Walls. It's a big graphic novel. It's pretty thick. But I had collected, I forget now, I didn't look it up to see how many issues. It was like, I think a 6-issue series. It's from Humanoids Comics, a small publisher. Really, really, really amazing artwork. I really thoroughly enjoyed the series. It was a creepy story about some kids that had been experimented on, and how they were gonna, it seemed like they were moving towards rebelling against these scientists who had done this stuff to them. And then the series stopped. I didn't see any more issues. I think it made it to like 3 or 4 out of 6 maybe. And so I never knew how the story ended or anything. And then I heard just this past week that this was coming out, and it's got everything in it and some extra stuff that was never published, which the last 2 issues, as far as I know, weren't published either, or at least I never could find them. There's bonus stuff here in the back. So I haven't read this yet. I'm going to start from the beginning because it's been 6 months or more since the last issue was out. So really looking forward to getting into this, and I will try to give it a good review once I've finished it. So that's it for this week. Please leave a comment here on YouTube or over on my blog at twodognight.net. I say that every week, but I've only had 1 comment over there, so it's probably just easier to just post here on YouTube anyway, which is what people seem to do. So let me know what you're reading this week. Have you read any of the stuff I talked about? Are you reading anything that you think I might be interested in? Please leave a comment. I'd really enjoy to chat with you about comics, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.